everybody. Welcome to Beginning Clarinet. My name is Steve and I look forward to starting this journey with you. Now before we get started on learning the clarinet, there's a few things I want to go over first. One important thing is the instrument that you'll be using. You want to make sure you get a good quality instrument. Something that's not good quality or something that's not working properly is going to hold you back and be frustrating. So you want to make sure you get a clarinet that's a good brand, that's made of good materials and something that'll help you out. It doesn't need to be a professional model. You are just getting started, but we do want something good. I recommend Yamaha beginner student models. Yamaha is always a good brand. The other good brands to look for are Selmer or Buffet. They also make good clarinets. And you want to be careful not to get one of the cheap instruments that you can get from a big box store. Many times they are inexpensive. They won't cost you very much, but you'll be frustrated by the quality. When they break, they're harder to repair, and the parts are just not as good. Now some people will play on a plastic clarinet, some people will play on a wood clarinet. For a beginner student, plastic is going to be just fine. You don't need to have the quality that wood brings. Save that for when you've become more advanced. A plastic clarinet is going to be more durable, it's more rugged, it can handle what a beginner is going to give to it. You don't have to worry about climate issues. They're just tougher instruments and still able to give you a good sound. A wood clarinet is normally something that an advanced student will move on to, and a wood clarinet will give you a better tone quality than what you can achieve on a plastic clarinet. But there are issues to worry about, like climate. If it's a used clarinet, you want to make sure that the wood is in good shape, that it's not cracked, that there aren't bugs in it. So you have to be more careful if you're going for a wood clarinet. For beginners, I would recommend a plastic clarinet. Now before you get started, there's some equipment that we want to make sure you have to ensure a successful start to playing clarinet. The first and most important thing we'll talk about is the reed. You've got to have a good reed to be able to play clarinet well. Reeds are made out of bamboo. They make them out of bamboo cane, and I'm going to show you one here. So you can see it's got a very fine tip. And that tip is very fragile. When you're playing on the clarinet and you're going to blow on it, that tip is going to vibrate very fast, and that's actually what creates the sound on the instrument. So we want to have a tip that's really in good shape, no cracks or chips. You can see this reed here has a bit of a chip on the end. That's not going to play as well. Even though that's a small chip, that's still enough to where that reed's not going to respond the way it should. You also want to note that when you buy a package of reeds, you may buy a box of 5 reeds. There may be one that doesn't play as well, and you may just have to throw it away. Other reeds may sound really nice, and you'll also have to, depending on how you play and the strength of your reeds, you may have to replace your reeds fairly often. For me personally, I play on a reed for about 2 weeks of regular practice, and then it starts to fail. So you're going to have to watch that based on your own playing. Many people like to rotate their reeds and find that that helps them last longer. A student should have several reeds that are in good playing condition so that you're not hampered by not having a reed available to you. So make sure you've got at least 3 or 4 that you can play at all times. Another thing you're going to need is cork grease. This comes in a tube usually, and the brand is not important on cork grease. They're all pretty much the same, and you're going to use that to keep your corks so that you can put the instrument together well. You're also going to want to have a swab so that you can clean out the clarinet. If you blow on your hand, you can feel moisture in your breath. Or if you blow on a window, especially on a cold day, you'll see that moisture. That moisture is going into your instrument. We want to get that moisture back out of the instrument so that it can stay in good playing condition. You'll see on the clarinet there's several pads, keys that have pads that cover them, and if those stay wet, they are not going to stay in good shape. They're going to deteriorate much faster. So we want to swab the instrument out after we're playing, keep it in good condition. Now, all of these things are tips that will help you so that you can play your instrument. It'll be ready to go when you want it, and you won't be facing any problems that could be frustrating or limiting in your playing. Another important element in beginning an instrument is that you need to have a dedicated space and a dedicated time for practicing. Practicing is the #1 thing you can do to become a better musician. If you don't practice, it's not going to happen. So to set yourself up for success, you want to set up a regular time and a regular place where you can work on your skills and you won't be distracted by other noises or images or people coming in and out. So find a good place, the best that you're able to, understanding that sometimes you can't do anything about your circumstances, but find the best place you can and a regular time. If you commit to a regular time, it'll make your practicing that much more likely to happen. As with any new activity, we often get really excited about starting and we want to jump in, and you're going to find you want to play a whole bunch at the beginning, but I want you to make a commitment to stick with it. After the first enjoyment fades, you're going to find that you start to struggle with certain elements, certain skills, and you're not going to want to practice. Make that commitment to stick it out, stick with it. Try and keep playing, work it out for at least a year so that you can start to see success. One more thing you'll need is a method book, and there are several good method books. I happen to use the Standard of Excellence series, but there are many other good method books out there too. You find one for B-flat clarinet. Most of them are quite good and will help you learn how to read music, learn how to play your instrument, fingerings, and give you good tips for developing skills. Along with having a good practice space and a regular time of practice, I find one of the most useful tools I have is my music stand. Thank you for watching this video. Next up, watch the video on how to put your instrument together without breaking it.